Dirt Everyday Extras go live every weekday on Motor Trend On Demand. Here's an example of an episode you missed last week. Hey, this Dirt Everyday Extra, I'm going to give you a little recap update on the Fun Buggy. A few weeks back, Dave was giving me a hard time that the Fun Buggy has not been running in over a year, maybe 2 years. It's been a long time. So I kind of got a bug in my ear to get this thing back on the trail. It's coming into winter time here in California, which means desert season, which means rock crawling out in the desert when it's not super, super hot. So let's get the rock buggy back together and see if we can take it wheeling. I mounted up these 40-inch BFGs on some beadlock wheels. These wheels were specially made for the Fun Buggy when we put the portals on because they have a lot of back spacing. I can't remember the name of the company right now. They make these steel wheels. So they're big, they're heavy, but they're really strong and you can bounce them off of rocks. Also, I hooked the Optima battery charger up to the yellow top that's in the back of the buggy. This yellow top battery has been in this buggy for probably 4 years and it's been sitting a lot of that time. So I hooked this up and it has brought it back to life. So the Optima is good and holding a charge, which is awesome. I did a little bit of work on the hydraulic steering. This buggy originally had mechanical steering up front and we changed it to hydraulic steering. And so I hooked up all of the pumps and the hoses and everything. The whole front suspension needs tightened up. There's a lot of bolts that somehow in all the work we've done to it, we lost the nut or the washers or whatever goes together. So I still have to go through the front end. But, I also put a brand new fuel pump in this because the fuel pump had rotted away because of the types of fuel that we have nowadays. It really eats away at the hoses. So I found some special hose that works inside a fuel tank and hooked up the fuel pump, rewired it all back together. So in theory, she should start up. This is a ZZ383 with a EFI system, Super Ram, I think is what it's called. And that feeds a 700R 4-speed automatic and then Advanced Adapters Atlas transfer case. The axles were built by Dynatrac. They're Dana 60's front and rear. It's their high pinion Pro Rock 60 with the Axle Tech portals, which is the same portal we put on the Alaska Army truck. Come on. It's really loud. So, when we built this thing originally, it was built to be street legal. So it has a windshield. Let me see if I can fold this down. We use snowplow lights on the front because they have built-in turn signals, windshield wipers. It had all the parking brake, all those things, turn signals in the back. Had all this stuff to make it street legal. And I've said it before, that was a really cool project, but not really something I'd recommend if you were building a rock buggy. The guy that built this, he now has his own shop. When he built it, he was working for Poly Performance, and then he moved on and started his own company called Goat Built, and he actually builds rock buggy kits. So you can order up a rock buggy in a kit form from him. And the guys at Poly Performance still sell a lot of the components to build rock crawlers, like Heim joints and coilover shocks, air bumps. A lot of the components, the big parts that you would need, you can go to Poly Performance. If you want to buy a tube chassis in a kit, go talk to the guys at Goat Built. The next for me is I want to get the seats mounted in. Now these seats were originally in tube sock, my TJ. When I built it originally, I built it to go to Moab, and I put these seats in the Jeep. Well, it turned out the really high side bolster on these seats make it really difficult to get in and out of. So I took them out of the Jeep. I put the seats that were in the rock buggy in the Jeep, and now I need to mount these in the rock buggy. Unfortunately, the mounting system is different between the two, so I have to build some adapters to mount these into the rock buggy. And then it's a matter of full prep, double checking every nut and bolt, making sure everything's tight, making sure all the fluids are topped off, all the hoses are good because it's been sitting a long time. And then hopefully we can go do some rock crawling. So we will see you guys out on the trail on a future Dirt Everyday Extra. If you need more Dirt Everyday Extra, go sign up right now.